Okay, if you see a screen or if you got into a screen similar to this one, that means that you've actually successfully signed up for your account. I don't want you to do anything more than have named your company at this point. We're going to use your name, comma, Inc., LLC, partnership, whatever you want to call it there, just so that we denote it as a business. It's going to be you incorporated. We're going to use your personal data so that you have some skin in the game and that sort of thing. But here I've actually clicked on the link to the test drive for QuickBooks Online. And this is really a good place to actually test some things out. So if you've got a accounting manipulation that you're kind of unfamiliar with, or you just don't know how to apply it to your QuickBooks, then you can actually make that transaction in this test drive and see how it works through, and if you're doing it correctly. So a really great piece or a tool that you can use as you go forward. So anyway, what I'd really like you to do is just to be a little curious about this. I'll show you what I want done in the assignments within this video, okay? But first of all, one of the first assignments that I have you do is you're going to come down here and click on the My Accountant link. And right here, you're going to type in my email address. Now, this is a little bit different email address because I have an arrangement with QuickBooks that I don't get paid anything. Don't worry about that. Full disclosure is that I have a little bit different college email. And you need to use your own college email in order to sign up for your free subscription. The edu domain used on your email makes a difference, okay? So that's what you want to use for that particular, when you sign up for your QuickBooks. So you're going to, right here under My Accountant, you're going to type this email here, todd.jones@caspercollege.edu. Okay? I'm not going to, well, I suppose I could invite. Okay, oops, something went wrong. I'm not sure that this test drive will allow me to do that, but actually what that will do will send me an email, and I can click on it and bring you in as one of my clients, as your accountant. And what that does is it allows me to go into your books, look and see whether or not you're working on them, whether or not you're doing things correctly. And so we can, just like Google Docs does or Drive does, we can actually share over the cloud your books. And this is really a powerful function. Of course, when you get out in the real world, I mean, I'd be glad to look at your books, but you probably or will have an accountant at some point in time. Most of us do, especially for business applications. And you can invite them in to take a look. They might need a little bit of QuickBooks knowledge in order to do a good job. But anyway, it's actually a pretty powerful thing that we can do. And it works out really well for this class, so that I can just kind of check on you, make sure that you're doing things correctly, and that sort of thing. All right, so the other part of the assignment is I want you to build a couple of reports. We're going to build them real quick here off of Craig's landscaping business. That's the QuickBooks test drive that we have here. We're going to build a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. And you can see, if you look through, you can actually choose your favorites, and it'll pull them to the top of the list, the ones that you use a lot. And it's already defaulted with these accounts receivable summary and a balance sheet and a profit and loss. But it also has a list of potential other types of statements and how particular statements can be read and formatted, as you can see. And I want your curiosity to kick in here, I hope. And take a look at what some of these actually are. the main ones and the two that I want you to actually download off of the Craig's landscaping design is the balance sheet and the profit and loss. So for the balance sheet, I want you to do it as of today, and today's September 28th. It's going to be the next week for all of you, but just leave that. That's a default. If I scroll up to the top, it's actually going to give me some options here. And the nice thing about it is I could say this is this year to date actually balance sheet. I selected that one. Okay, right there. I could select many different options right here. As you know, the balance sheet is a snapshot. It's only good for that particular moment in time. And this one will be actually for this particular date. But I could do it a projected balance sheet if I have some budgeted items in there and that sort of thing. Or I could go back in time. I can do actually a comparison. And you might want to fool with that too, where I put two different dates in there. So it's going to just use this date right here. Okay, I haven't changed anything. Always, we've talked some about accrual accounting, and we're going to use accrual here. Most of the entries we're going to make are actually cash, but we can leave that on accrual, and then we're going to run our report, and we get this balance sheet, of course. Now here's what this is a technical type of thing, not a huge hurdle at all, but what I want you to do and will ask of you is to actually upload a report into Moodle, and I'll show you how to do this right here. If you just go over here to the printer icon, click on it. Okay, everything looks good there. Right. I just scrolled up is all I did. And then I want to save that as a PDF, or actually I can actually just hit print. Okay. Now I already did this once. Here's all my printers that I have at the school, but there is actually an option on your print settings that is save as a PDF. So I'm going to save that as a PDF. Alright, then go ahead and hit save. I'm going to put it in my downloads. Alright, now you can take it from your downloads and upload it into the Moodle assignment. And that's all there is to it. So save it as a PDF. You can do that same thing for the report. I'm actually going to get out of this one. I don't want you to email it. You can. I mean, a great option, that sort of thing. I'm going to go back into my original reports page, and I'm going to choose profit and loss. Okay. Now, for this one, I actually want to just change the date. So I just want, let's leave it this year to date. That'd be fine. And of course, the income statement or the profit and loss, same thing, is over a period of time. So I'm going to choose January 1st until today, which today is September 28th. Don't use the 28th. Use your current date as your date. And then you can go through the same process of downloading it as a PDF by choosing printer, print it, save as a PDF, save it. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to cancel that. I don't need any extra files on my printer, but you get the idea, and then you upload it into your assignment. So that's part of the assignment, nothing big time or anything like that. I'm going to escape out of here and then just go back up to the dashboard, since we should have a little bit of time here, and we can explain a little bit of the things around here that's going on. Over to your left are all your menu items, that the main things that you'll work on. As you notice, you're at your dashboard. So if you're in any of these other portions of QuickBooks, you can just click on dashboard and get back here. You can set it up, customize it, all that kind of stuff. Some of the defaults are kind of interesting. It will show you on your dashboard where your invoices, your outstanding invoices, those that are not deposited and that sort of thing. It'll show what this month is showing for expenses, and then it shows you a profit and loss, and then your sales of last month here in a graphical form. So, and you can customize this to how you want it to look. If you look over here, it takes a quick look at all your bank accounts, savings account, and your credit cards right here. So kind of puts everything in one place and allows you to take a look at it. I want you to just kind of click through these as they are, and we're not going to talk about banking too much right now, but the main one is just the banking part of it. This is where we're going to actually do some of our reconciliation of our accounts and things like that. Expenses, we'll use that a lot. We can print checks off of this. We can create new expenses. We can receive a bill and then pay it later right there. We can show an expense right there. We can write a check, purchase order, or a vendor credit right here. And of course print checks right here or pay bills. Okay, we have a list of vendors right in that same area, and we'll be building that as we go. Or if you already are using a desktop version of QuickBooks, you could actually import all this data in, and you would save yourself from having to type all the addresses and contact information for each one of those. And one of the nice things about all of this, if you run a customer intense business or one which you deal with a lot of suppliers and vendors, then you can actually save all of that information within your accounting system. Sales, we like to have lots of sales. You know, those of us in agriculture don't actually make a lot of sales through the year, but they're big sales. But if you're a retail outfit and you have orders coming in all week long or all month long, this program is very accommodating for that sort of thing, and we can talk about these more. But go ahead and take a look at each one of these areas here. The customer is similar to the vendor area, but we're just talking about those that buy your products. Could be very, very useful. Projects, workers, this is more for the employment part. We may get into that in a little while. You can kind of go in there and take a look at it. Take a look at the other reports. Taxes. Death and taxes are what it's all about. You can take a look at that, especially in this test drive. Don't do anything with the other part. Mileage. If you have to report mileage for the IRS reports, then actually you can keep a running tab on mileage, especially if you have employees that are out there having to log miles. You can actually use this accounting program for that. The chart of accounts. See your chart of accounts. Take a peek under the hood. All right, for this test drive, here's all your bank accounts, or all of your accounts. And this, we're referring to those accounts that we started off the school year with. They're either an asset, they're a liability, or they're an equity account. Okay, so there's a list of those. We can build those on the fly. We'll build a chart of accounts, an initial chart of accounts. Each one of yours will look a little different because it's going to be yours. So, and that's not really an assignment for this week, but in order to ready yourself for next week, I want you to build your chart of accounts on that spreadsheet that I've made available to you so that you can just get up and running with your QuickBooks for next week. Okay, so we went over my accountant, and we won't talk about this one right now. And you can take a look at it. Introducing your free business credit score. Wow. Okay, doesn't have much under there. Not sure if we can, something's not quite right. So we won't go over that. Now, just to, there's a few more things that we're going to use from here. I'm just going to click back on the dashboard and get us back there. If we want to create anything within QuickBooks, we can do it all over here through any one of these, or we could just go to what I refer to as kind of the create button or the hot button. Okay, anything to do with invoices is listed right here, or customers. Anything to do with vendors is listed here, employees and other. So if we need to make a bank deposit, a transfer, a journal entry, statement, inventory, quantity adjustment, we can do it right there. We're going to just add, and we can go directly to one of those. Okay, here on this gear icon, some of the main things on the company settings will be here. So account settings, when we set up your QuickBooks account, we'll have the initial settings already put in here, your company. And this is the place you could actually go in there and change it. So if we wanted to change that name to Todd, I'm just going to call it Todd's Inc. Okay. I'm going to add my, you don't have to put it in right now at this point in time, but you could put your EIN number or your Social Security number if you're a sole proprietor at that point. And you can go down here and do some other things to update the company information. Okay, I'm just going to click out of that particular screen and go back to the gear icon, see if there's anything in there. I can go directly to my chart of accounts here. Any lists, if I have products and services, or those would be things that I want to put into a list that I actually sell. So products and services, I might sell some calves, I might have yearlings, I'd have cold cows, cold bulls, and breeding livestock, that sort of thing. I might also sell some hunts. I might sell some summer recreation trips. So you can handle all that within this accounting program. So anyway, the test drive is here for you to actually take a look at, see if it can be applied to your situation. You're going to test drive it with your own numbers. And you know, I was talking to a student this morning a little bit, and hopefully some of you or all of you eventually will get some of what I'm trying to drive at, is that I'm having you put your own numbers into some of this information. Sure, we've looked at some other data and some other statements and that sort of thing, but until you actually see your own numbers, where you have your own skin in the game, then it's very difficult to be very excited about this sort of thing. Bookkeeping is just by the nature of the beast. If it's not your numbers, it's hard to get excited about it. I know that. But I'll tell you what, when you're in business, and I have, it's, you know, I want to know where I'm at, because I want to know where I'm headed. And by looking back, I can pull numbers from historicals in my database and use them to project. If the next year looks like it's going to be similar to a year I had 3 years ago, or even last year, I can pull those numbers forward in my budgets. They're just powerful. It's just empowering, and you can take a look at where you've been and where you're going with that sort of thing. Computerized accounting has actually revolutionized a lot of this for all of us. One thing I might note is that, you know, and I don't know if you've heard much about it, I'm not a technological geek, Okay, but I'm kind of excited about the fact that AI, artificial intelligence, is actually going to take over accounting. And that has something, if you're thinking about going into accounting, then having a little coding background might help you, so that you can manage people that are actually writing the artificial intelligence code for what's going to take place in the coming years. But there's going to be fewer accountants. At least that's my prediction, and I've been wrong before and will be wrong in the future. But so whenever you probably just take your smartphone, you just say, I just made a purchase for this, or you probably pay right off your smartphone too, and it'll just upload it automatically into your accounting. It'll recognize what kind of an expense or what account it's reflected in, and withdraw the funds, credit your accounts, debit your accounts in the correct way, and all that kind of stuff. It might even take you through a couple of questions that it needs answered in order to apply the right postings, and then it's done. But anyway, knowing a little bit about the background of accounting is going to help you in all of your business endeavors. Anyway, just a little, I'll open the window to the future to you, hopefully a little bit. And I'm going to pause here and let you get to work. So good luck to you. If you have any questions, give me a call. And of course, I'll answer your emails as well.